All right, hey everybody, this is Mike. We'll wait a few minutes here, let everybody get logged in. We're going to play a classic from our buddy Andy Simmons here. If you don't like it, you can turn it down, and when you see the webcam, guess what? I'll be talking. So give me a second, we'll get some coffee. Oh my goodness. Alright, what's cooking? Hey, I just saw my buddy Corey on there from Boca. Saw Fast Fred. What's up, Fred Allen? I see a lot of friends on here too. What's cooking? Here's Louie. Let's do our morning ritual here. We'll see if I can say hi to everybody. We're watching Cristobal, obviously. Still a couple days of meandering, but this is a cool shot here showing some stuff I'm going to go into. Hey, Maureen Smith. Sarah's waving. Hi, Sarah. Hey, Barbara. Yeah. So we have 5 songs. I forgot about the Doors song. Hopefully I don't get pegged on Facebook for copyright. Hey, what's up, Jonathan English? Cool, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Sarah, you want to say hi? Nope. You want to say hi? All right, real quick. Come on. Sarah wants to say hi, and then we're going to get right into the tropics. You can take Louie, too. So say bye, Louie. Say hi, Sarah. There's my girl. There's Sarah. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
And Louie loves giving her kisses. All right, you guys go play. Daddy's got work to do. All right. So good morning, everybody. All right, cool. A lot of great people. All right, so here's the deal. A lot of new fans. We roll right into tropics. I ramble on a long time. I try to keep it short and sweet the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll start reading more comments, and then we'll go off on tangents. And it's kind of like a blogging morning session, right? Hey, Bobby, Emily's good. She's a softball camp. So they get their Wednesday tradition for school was Julie would take them to Starbucks before school. That was her Wednesday thing, and they still do it. So today I'm drinking Starbucks. I don't really like Starbucks. I don't really like to support them because they have a lot of money, a lot of crap. $5 for a cup of coffee, but oh well. All right, so there we go. We got spinach. What's up, Linda? Gina? Cool, man. All right, so here's the deal. Let's first off start the show off by saying thanks to our Facebook Live sponsor for the second year, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. So new this year, I'm going to pull up a picture on their page. And I thought this one was kind of fitting. It's a Space Dust IPA, a little green monster. That's Cristobal. That could be our mascot. So if we were to have a mascot, there we go. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. So thanks to those guys. And one more little piece of housekeeping I want to mention. I posted last night about 11:30 at night, but I was pretty stoked. I was doing some Googling and ran across the National Weather Service page here. And they have a data forecast desktop website page. It's called the National Weather Service Enterprise Resource National Program. And it's various resources that National Weather Service links to commercial, academic, and government. So anyway, it's pretty cool. They have us listed Mike's weather page. I'm in good company. They have us general dash tropical, which is even cooler. And then what they said was Mike's weather page gives users access to a variety of National Weather Service and other source weather data focusing on tropical forecast. Isn't that amazing? So just the fact to have the National Weather Service recognize this armchair social meteorologist. Don't get going, Louis. Louis gonna start barking here. So that was pretty cool. I was pretty humbled by that. So anyway, big thanks to National Weather Service. I do use a lot of their graphics. All right, so let's go back to this loop. So I'm going to try to say hi to everybody. I'm going to get rolling on the tropics. I don't want to lose everybody. I'll try to pop in and read a few things here and there. So thank you, everybody. I know you're saying thanks. That means a lot. That stuff's important to me because, I get a lot of critics. And, but it's cool to have the big dogs actually recognize the little dogs. So we're a little dog, little fish in the big sea. So the cool thing, all right, so this is neat. All right, so we showed this yesterday. Real simple. First off, I don't want to lose this map. All right, so let's do the current synopsis of what we have. And then I'll show you that map. So here is the latest Recon. Hurricane hunters are out flying around. You can see it on Tropical Tidbits right here. So they just found a low pressure, 993. So the only interesting note so far is Cristobal definitely has become stronger than predicted. 60, 65 mile an hour wind. Oh, it's 60 official mile an hour winds. Might be 65 come 11 a.m. advisory. It's right on the coast. It's trying to make landfall. But the pressures are dropping 993. So all that means is it's stronger than it was supposed to be. Of course, incredible amount of rain, 20, 30 inches of rain across parts of the Central America and Mexico here. So thoughts are with them for sure. Big drowning event, kind of like Harvey was. We have a system with 0 steering currents right now. And this is a real simple map, man. We used this a bazillion years ago. But this is your upper level steering map. And we have a high pressure coming across Mexico right now, pushing winds down. Showed this yesterday. So it's competing high pressure to the east, high pressure to the west. High pressure to the west, the winds are coming down from the north. High pressure to the east, the winds are kind of coming up, pushing it from the bottom. The problem is the bottom push is a little weaker than the top push. And we said push, right? So every time we say push, we got to make sure we're giving Bush beer credit, right? So it's getting a little push downward. And you can see it really good. So the steering currents are weak for the next 2 days. That's the bottom line. But when you look at this loop here, you can see the spinach over Mexico right here. Just focus on the pink. This is dry air. But you can see the downward movement here. And that's, keeping Cristobal from wanting to go northward. Systems have a natural poleward motion called the Cornelius effect that makes all tropical systems north of the equator want to go back home and to the east. Everything wants to go around. Everything typically wants to go this way. This system's actually going to get this high pressure's going to build up around the top of Cristobal. It's going to pull it northward. And we're going to have a little bump to the northwest. It's supposed to be a little bit of shear in the Gulf, too. This is all that's convection now that's starting to begin to blow into Florida. The outer bands are being pushed for that. So let's look at your current NHC forecast just to get to the good stuff. The official forecasts, they're the ones that you should listen to, not this drunk donkey. Cornelius. Ha! There's spinach over Mexico. I'm smart. I'm not smart. So anyway, here's a track. Been very, very, very consistent. The only thing we've been seeing is slight ticks to the east. We talk about trends. We talk about flip-flops. They're keeping the cone pretty wide. They always seem to mention extreme uncertainty past, 4 or 5 days. Into 4 or 5 days. So anyway, here's the official path. Official landfall sometime Sunday night, according to National Weather Service. We would have winds here, they estimate at 65 miles an hour. And for sure, it's going to be a east sloppy system, so a lot of potential surge issues. Bigger systems I've seen over the years create larger surge. More water being pushed up. That's the word of the day, pushed. Not only is the wind pushing, but we got water being pushed. So we're going to be watching for that. we got one storm surge map that luckily, yesterday morning, if you saw our last night live, it's back live again. It was off yesterday morning. And I can never find links on this guy's Mike's page. You would think that I would spend more time looking at it. So here's some of the early surge forecasts starting to come to play. Obviously, east side, this is center line of the National Hurricane Center. Obviously, east of center is where we get the rotating winds, and some of the surge forecasts are starting to indicate this. These will be updated as we get closer to time, and of course, we're getting some higher water totals already predicted on Florida's west coast as our push comes over. So this map will be very important as we get closer. You can see a good display. Let's talk about timing real quick, and then we'll get into the individual models. This is a good map. The earliest you could possibly start seeing tropical storm force winds would be Saturday night p.m. right here, 8 p.m. So Saturday 8 p.m. winds. Throughout the day, Saturday they start getting windier, but earliest tropical force storm winds would be Saturday evening along this stretch here. So that's always a good map. Latest spaghetti models here on Tropical Tidbits will show his. These are your 12Z. These just came out. That's good. We're back on target, man. The 06 Z models are live until about 9:10, 9:15. The 12Zs come out right now. So here we go. Keeping the exact same window that we keep talking about. Eastern Texas to Upper Gulf, and I say Panhandle as the extreme outlier, but that's Mobile, Mississippi, obviously, New Orleans. So pretty tight window here. A lot of it's going to be this little eastward trend that we keep seeing ticking currently down in the Yucatan. And another thing too, here's that slight bend, a slight slowdown on approach to the coast. We have a high pressure here, and that's going to slow our system down as it reacts to the steering current, kind of a blockage. So this little window here, I'm come here, Rusty, come lay down, buddy. And so this is what we're watching. This slight bendage still on tap. So that's hasn't changed. So there's that one. Let's show you a couple intensity models peeking into category 1. Here's a cool map showing you the latest track. It's just been meandering around, still off the tip of Mexico, has not officially crossed over yet. Here's the latest Recon again, in case you just joined us. We're getting some strong barbs down here. So, and the last graphic I want to show you is this. All right, so all the models are predicting a little bit of landfall throughout the day today, and a curve back around, probably just off the Yucatan as it starts to head north. Interestingly enough, the mountains aren't that high. Come here, buddy. The mountains aren't that high in Mexico. So, yes, it'll weaken. But interesting, I saw this on a blog. It's not like crossing over, down in Hispaniola or Haiti or, the DR, those kind of mountains. So it's not going to have the high mountains for quick, degrading of the system. So that's interesting enough. So let me close that window there again. That's there's really no big mountains. So I'm not seeing a huge fall off as this goes over land. All right, so let's turn this one on and see what you guys are saying. Tallahassee, yes, there's going to be effects. We got to go over all this because it's a really odd system. We got a lot of energy to the north that's kind of separate from Cristobal, but it's being pushed in from that high that's building in over Mexico. So the rain forecasts are pretty high across much of Florida all the way to Texas, Louisiana line, and into Texas a tick. Dissipation. Where's English at? Yeah, I got stuck on a word. So, hey, Richard, thanks, buddy. Kate, what do you got? A heart? That's cute. So yeah, Jeff, I don't know if the mountains are going to be a huge story. I think it's just going to slowly weaken. But man, look at this, blobs and squalls, right? I mean, it's incredible. That's been not a joke. We don't want to joke about tropical systems, but I tell you, the Gulf has surprised everybody this year. And so far, it was only supposed to be 45 mile an hour at right now, and it's already 60, 65. So it's officially 60 miles an hour, and the pressure's down to 993. So it's proven upwelling is not that big a deal right now because look, it's still continuing to fire. So that's what I mean. You got to watch the Gulf. The Gulf's been surprisingly producing blobs and squalls all season long. So let's look at it a little deeper here on weathernerds.org. Actually, we have some high resolution links here. So Matt at weathernerds.org, give them credit. Give him Levi from Tropical Tidbits knows us well, and so does Matt from Weather Nerd. So I use those guys a lot because they like our page. There's other places, yes, lots of places. I just like to give them props too. So he's got direct links that he created actually to help my webpage. I can't believe it, but he created these links that I can link that directly go to the current storm. So when you go back to my page, you got 4 different links there. He's got visible satellite, which is great, but it only works when there's daylight. But you can start to see the daylight crossing over. And we're still having pretty big clusters, hot towers popping up and lightning right here where the center is. So it's definitely not dying yet. We go back to IR. You can see that here with the purples and the whites. So it's hanging on. It's a big blob. We're going to see what it does the next day. It's expected to drift across land a little bit before pulling on out. The big question was, early on we had some models going way down here into Mexico and really disrupting the center. That's going to be the question throughout the day. If it doesn't lose much steam, then yes, I believe the forecast models are a little underestimating what we can see in the Gulf. And you can see that currently, honestly. Like this graphic here from the National Weather Service, I'm very confused about. Because if you look at the 50 mile an hour wind probabilities, they're showing 5 to 10% probability chances of 58 mile an hour. Doesn't make sense, right? Because when you go to their official discussion, they're showing 65 mile an hour after landfall. So it's contradicting. So we got that. The latest models, let me show you all the latest models, and then we will show you other goody stuff, right? What? Official landfall. Okay, we've got official landfall. Let's go to Twitter. We've got official landfall. Probably drifted over. So it's drifting. Hey, Bobby, look at that. Oh, confirmation. Yep. Look at you guys. 19 seconds ago. Cristobal makes landfall in the state of Campeche, Mexico. So that means the hurricane hunters, I don't know. They're supposed to fly out at 3 o'clock today. I don't know if that's Eastern or Central, but we'll see if they are going out. They usually don't fly over land. So, but yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch because it's, like I said, flat land. We got a little bay right here. Maybe it won't weaken much at all. And that's going to spell, a little stronger system heading up to the Gulf. Let's show you the probabilities for what we got. So again, if here's a little bay right here. Look at that. So again, worst case scenario, we're looking at minimal hurricane, in my opinion. The waters can't support something stronger than a minimal one. There's going to be shear in the Gulf, and timing is always what systems need. It's going to really start rocketing kind of fast once it starts pulling northward. So we're only going to have basically, it's going to have 3 days though. I don't know. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So not official forecast, but I'm telling you, the way that the Gulf looks, in my opinion, somebody asked me, I could see, well, we got a little dry air coming in, but, precipitable water map, extremely juicy. We have not a lot of dry air. So we're going to watch it close. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a hurricane out of this and maybe upwards of a minimal hurricane. So, Michelle, nope, did not say that. And matter of fact, interesting thing I learned. There's a graphic down here. We have the tropical intensity forecast map here on cholesterol 9. But we have a cool little image here from, it's kind of an independent calculated method of highest probability of winds in hurricanes. But this little map here, all it shows you is if the waters are definitely supportive enough for more than an H1 hurricane. That's all. It's not saying we're going to have it. This is a very deceiving graphic. It's not saying we're going to have a category 4 or 3 hurricane. It's just saying the waters are warm enough to support that. And I thought that was very fascinating. So as you can see right here at the tip of Louisiana, the water's starting to get cooler right now. So it's just saying if everything was perfect in the world, it could sustain an H3 hurricane. That would be worst case scenario with general storms. That has nothing to do with Cristobal. That's just a index based on current water temps if all conditions were right. So here's a rain map, by the way. We got to get into the rains. Here's the latest rain 5-day forecast. In fact, let's go to the 7-day forecast. About the same. You can see the Trek, Star Trek, Captain, Nanu, or no, that's wrong. So here's the rain. Listen, east side of the system, eastern Texas is right on that edge of nothing or something. Heavy rains. Anything in the oranges are 5 to 7 inches. So still big rain predicted to start rolling in. It looks like a little guy running right there. What's up with that? Here's your storm. It's not going to stop. That's an important note. It's not going to stop like Harvey or Imelda. It's going to keep moving. It's going to get caught up with another system. So that's the good news as far as 20, 30, 40, 50 inches of rain. That we don't want to see that, obviously. But you're going to get your normal rain trains, unfortunately. And there will be flooding. There will be storm surge. That's always associated with tropical systems. So, Mork and Mindy, yeah, I know I blew that one. Remember all them shows? We yell at our kids for being on their phones all the time. But if you saw an 80s TV shows, like just if you look at them, you're like, my God, I watched every one of these things. Mork and Mindy. You had Punky Brewster. You had Alf. You had Knight Rider. You had the A-Team. You had Fall Guy. You had the Love Boat. I mean, I watch all this stuff. Family Ties. Miami Vice. Little House on the Prairie. So when did we find time to watch all these shows? I always think it's funny. Because every time we yell at our kids to stay off their phone, that's what they're watching now. Is TV on their phones. All right, so let's look at all the individual models, okay, from last night. We'll look at those. We'll look at where they're going. We'll look at that. I want to show you the latest Euro 06Z Euro, which is the freshest Euro, showing a little stronger system coming up that is not going to be on Levi's site. Levi does 12Z, 0Z. So here's the latest GFS. So dissipates it a little bit, comes back up, reforms it, sloppy, low 900s millibar, 993, 995. So this would be Sunday morning right off the coast of Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama. And if you look at a rain map, whoops, let's go back. What did I do? Let's look at a rain map. And there is a closer look. Oh, actually, we can really zoom in on the GFS and CMC. We can go here. So here's a rain map. This would be Sunday. So let's rewind it. So here's the blob coming up ahead of the low. This is Saturday afternoon. Already getting rains lingering into Florida, unfortunately. Here's Sunday overnight morning hours. There's the initial line of rain setting up just on the edge of the Florida peninsula. And then, of course, big, wide, streaking rain Sunday. So I heard Levi talk about this. I'm glad I'm not making this up because, it's good to hear agreements. But if this system goes down over Mexico today and loses that core, that low level center of circulation, and widens out to more of a mid-level system. When it comes off of the Yucatan, it's not going to have more than 2-3 days max, and it's going to be going fast. So it's not going to have a lot of time to develop that relocation of a low-level center. So what that means is it's going to be like a subtropical system, and that's what the GFS continues to show, and the CMC continues to show. It's a sloppy, big, loose, low-pressure system. Still 995. There'll still be, pretty strong winds, tropical storm upwards, minimal hurricane, but the outreach will be wide because it's going to be a displaced system with a lot of shear. So anyway, that's what GFS and the CMC. Let's go to CMC. It's showing almost the exact same thing, same time frame. This is Sunday afternoon. Landfall somewhere here, New Orleans with the CMC 997. Nothing to be too worried about. 995 right here. But see the wide-reaching rains here into Florida on Sunday. And as we rewind, this is into Saturday. This is Saturday morning. You can see these rains starting to inch in Saturday. So again, there's a big line right here. That's why we're seeing big rain totals stretching here as our system moves north. All right, so let's show you that one. All right, so let's go to the Euro. Last night's Euro, and then we'll show you the 6Z Euro. So here's your, the Euro's been pretty consistent about this thing not losing much. 999 tomorrow morning, comes back out at 998, and then it starts to come up, and we get slight strengthening as it pulls north. So kind of the same pattern, middle Louisiana, a little deeper. And again, the difference between 995 and 985 is a strong category or strong tropical storm at 995. 985 could be a weaker hurricane. And I have a little chart here on the bottom of my page. It's an old Safford-Simpson scale modeling that shows you that. So it's not a science. That's why they stopped doing it. Safford-Simpson scale only shows you wind speed with their categories. But the olden days back with Doc and Marty McFly. So there you go. 980 to 994 could be a hurricane. So it all depends on the winds. We could be looking at potential hurricane now. I mean, the winds right there at the last second was right down to 993 millibar, and the winds were close to 70, 74. So anyway, 980-ish millibar would be a hurricane, and that's just the effects are very. At this point, a mild hurricane versus a strong tropical storm are very similar. So it's not hyping anything. It's only a difference of 5 or 10 miles an hour. All right, so here's another look. Let's take a look at before I forget. So the latest, all right, so this is cool. So the Euro started doing 3-hour or 6Z and 18Z forecasts. They don't run out as far, but they updated between the main operational runs. So the latest ones of these, the only thing noting is the models. Yeah, the Dvorak scale Casper is a little lower. I know. So the models are all initiating a little bit higher than what's the reality. So that's a little note. Sometimes if the models are fed a little higher pressure than reality, you just have to assume we'll have a little lower pressure on that model run until they get fed the correct millibar pressure. But anyway, the latest 6Z Euro is showing general deepening Saturday, and hits 989. That's as far as out as it goes, 90 hours. So nothing to be scared about. Just showing latest Euro down to 989. So this supports the idea we can still be looking at a minimal hurricane. Let's look at the UK. Let's look at the icon real quick. Here's the icon. And then we'll look at some others. See what you guys are saying. Here's the icon. Middle 900s, right in the middle of Louisiana. Here's that turn. Boom. See that turn? The turn's coming. High pressure building in over Florida. Turn's coming northwest. That's the icon. We'll look at UK. The English model. And it's still doing that. Coming for you, Panhandle. Coming for you, Panhandle. Psych. 986. And then it goes right into Louisiana. So, and it's, a little stronger, 986. So, again, minimal hurricane. So, the UK, so we're seeing this bend. We're seeing that pull and then a last second bend. Timing Sunday, a little later Sunday night landfall. It's very consistent. Things haven't changed entirely too much. Here's the, what was it? There's the Access G, same thing. See, it goes right up and then it turns right into the lower Louisiana. Same time frame, late Sunday. It's pretty strong. This one's showing up, 983. Cool. All right. All right, let me zoom out. Let's see what you guys are saying. Go fast, turn left. Yeah, it's a NASCAR storm. Cristobal wants to race NASCAR. You ain't first, you're last. We all love that. All right, let's look at the windy map while we chit-chat. Hey, Marcus. Yeah, I know the IR. That's what I'm saying. We've seen storms over the years in Florida, for example. We've seen storms strengthen over land. Now, this one ain't, shouldn't strengthen over land. Hey, but it's 2020, right? We could have anything happen. It's 2020, right? I just don't think the land is going to be that big a deal on this one because it's I learned today it's flat. Come here, buddy. Come here, Rusty. Come here. Poor Rusty. Oh, I think it's time, buddy. Well, yeah, blobs and squalls, Tia. You got that right. Yes, I think it's definitely going to pull more west. It's going to turn west. We have it real simple setup here. You can see it. See if I can get it right the first try without having to click. There we go. Yay, 500. Okay. So here's what's happening in a nutshell. Here's our high pressure here. It's spinning. It's kind of pushing Cristobal down. It's going to build northward, and it's going to come around. Here's the high pressure pulling north, and you know what? We're going to have a little block here. This is the blocking pattern. That's actually going to push it a little north-northeast. This is low. Blues are low pressure. Oranges are high pressure. They cannot touch. They have an invisible force field between them. They have a coating of protective material. The Trojan horse. Hey, Don, I will. That'd be a cool idea. Where'd he go? Hey, come here, Rusty. Come here. Here, we'll show Rusty. Because I don't show Rusty very often. All right. Come here, Rusty. Well, I can't because the damn camera's mounted. I'll figure out a way. I'll put a picture of him online. How about that? All right, so here it is. Here's high pressure, low pressure, and there's our high pressure just to the north. That's going to create a little bit of slowing. Lacey, Houston's going to be right on that edge, man. I don't know. It's one of those deals with Houston. It could be a bust forecast. You guys might get nothing. I think there's a higher chance you get nothing out of this than something. How about that? St. Augustine's sun next week. Oh yeah, after Monday, after Sunday, Monday, we'll be back to normal sunshine. Damn right. Say Dale, what's up, buddy? Man, I'm so bummed out, Dale. We got softball too, man. Flooding in Sarasota, definitely possibility. But yeah, Dale, I don't know, buddy. God, I hate looking at these rain forecasts. It scares me. Maybe it's Thursday, Friday rains. Hopefully, maybe it's not Saturday. And let me tell you real quick, and then I'm going to show you the rest of the steering pattern. But the one thing there's so many things to talk about. But if the storm tightens up like a couple of miles of sand, including the Euro, the tighter this thing gets on Saturday, it's going to start pulling in the moisture. So, yes, upper Gulf Panhandle rains, but Florida rains could only be limited to today through Friday because if we get a stronger system, it's going to start pulling in tighter, and that'll take away the rain. That just happens. We won't have as much sloppy coverage to the east. So still watching that scenario. I still think mid-June low. Yeah, April. I haven't seen a lot of support for anything long term yet. So we'll look into that. So anyway, here's the pattern, just real quick. This is what's happening. So as this high is coming across, first thing it's going to do is keep that little north-northeast movement, and then the high gets to the top. And on Saturday, it's actually going to slow our system down a little bit, and that might be a little bit to get it organized a little bit more, and unfortunately bring more rains. And then the high comes around the backside over Florida and pushes it more northwest, and then our low finds that weakness between the next front, and it'll get pulled up into it and say bye-bye. So I guess there's a little shot mid-June. Look at that. That's just sloppy. But so anyway, there's that. See what that is. What the heck? Wait, June 18th. Nah. It's a long way away though, man. 300 hours. I'd be shot if I showed a 384-hour forecast. So that, I don't know. That's way too far away to believe right now. All we know this time of year, we can have something anywhere. So basically, past 300 hours, you can just throw a dart, play. What's that game when you're blindfolded? Just pick a spot and say we might have tropical activity. But hey, yeah, we could say that's Dolly. Big Dolly. Oh man, we're gonna have fun with Dolly. Hey Julie, yes, it has moved a little more east and than forecast. So that's trending our tick to the east that we've talked about. And again, all that really means is that a little more rain for Florida Peninsula, a little less chance for eastern Texas. Here's the charts. We showed this last night. It was supposed to be down here last night. This is pretty much, where it was supposed to be. So it jumped a good bit east from where it was predicted. And we'll see what it's weak steering currents right now. So a stronger system will beat the weaker high to the north, and it'll start pulling north on its own. So depending on how strong this high pressure is and how strong Cristobal is, it's going to be a battle of who wins. And it's just going to sit down here for a day. Forecast track is supposed to be 2 p.m. tomorrow. So it's not going to move much in 24 hours. But again, the terrain's low. And we can look at some current IR stuff. And you can see the expansion, coming around. And it's looking pretty healthy. It's blobbish. Boom, there's Cristobal, big blob. This one's a little higher. Well, actually, I was going to show this one. We started to show this one. Let me click out. We're starting to show this one, and I got sidetracked. Imagine that. So let's look at it here, and we'll see current satellite, and you can see it. Lots of expansion here. Look at that. So it's still cooling cloud tops and getting stronger center. So anyway, lots of rain. Yep. Waders here in New Orleans. Heather, I would. Florida is a big question as far as peninsula goes. We definitely have rain the next couple days on tap here at home. Look at this. 90% here for me today. 80, 90, 80, 70, 70. But this is all that rain out ahead of it right here, the blob. This is being pushed in by that high. We get that convergence zone here of action. So we had tornadoes the last couple days. Venice reported one in Cape Coral last night. Look at this. We're already getting storms here on the east coast of Florida, all this action here is going to be bringing juice the next few days. This is the initial impact for the Florida Peninsula. Then the bigger impact is coming below. You can hear it like a shark. Here we go. Look at that. So indeed, a stormy morning down in the Keys and lower Florida. So what else is cooking? Let me see what you guys are saying. East is the beast. Hey, Elizabeth Mobile, you're right in the heart of this thing. I mean, Michelle, I can look. There's always a chance. Dale, yeah, ugh, you're farther north though, man. I don't know. We're playing Madeira Beach. Galveston, nope, Claw. I would never say never, but that chance is very slim. Houston eastward would be the only people that I feel could get anything. And remember, an east-sided system is everything. This thing, smack dab down the middle, to the east is everything, and to the west is almost nothing sometimes. So here's some of the potential impacts here as we look into Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, obviously, there's spinach, and I'm not 100% up on all the flooding in Louisiana and Mississippi, but there's our flow, and that's where the water will be pushing in. So that's, these are things we got to watch. And of course, here's down in Florida, 1 p.m. on Sunday, lots of wind coming up. So definitely not a good boating day anywhere in the Gulf here, most of the Gulf. Saturday, 8 a.m., it starts to creep in. And then there we go. So that's the Euro. Let's look at the Euro rain map just for fun. Carmen, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, hey, there's some stars. What's up, Katie? Playing a little record DJ. DJ Kitty? Like the Rays? Is that the DJ Kitty? I miss my Rays. God, we used to go to so many Rays games. There's Rays DJ Kitty. So that's you, Katie. Look at that. There's your meme you just posted. Telford Holmes, great point. Tornado threats always high with squalls in off of the water. Always. North Louisiana just rains. This thing's going to pull up around you, and it's just going to be a rainmaker through Sunday, Monday. But yeah, you're right, Telford. Tornadoes are always something to watch because we have the squalls. As Jimmy Buffett said, squalls out on Gulf Stream. That big storm coming soon. I've passed out in a hammock, and I've slept way past noon. So here's GF. Here's the Euro blobbish. This is the heavy rains. This is Sunday morning. Let's check out some of the rain forecast from the Euro. Euro's usually pretty good. So here's so here's initial rains. This is all ahead of Cristobal. This is through Friday. And then as our storm comes up, there's the big stuff. So, and there's our big pockets of rain, Louisiana, Mississippi. And we could get some into the Panhandle. We can get some a little bit more here in the Big Bend area. But there's our big rain bands, rain trains. This little guide here would be 6, 7, 8 inches. Official QPF page indicates the same thing. Some pretty heavy rains out here in the middle Gulf. That's 7 to 10 inches right here. So, anyway. So, yeah. Expected winds for Florida Panhandle, Bobby. Well, yeah, you'll get tropical storm gusts, no doubt. Cool little link here on my site. You could take a look at it. Let me rewind 100%. All right, so Right above the spaghetti models, I have a National Weather Service winds, gusts, waves map. And this is pretty good. It's kind of your official National Weather Service. And you can zoom around. You can fast forward to the different time frames, which is kind of neat. So we'll go to Saturday. We'll go to Sunday. And there you go. So this National Weather Service, I like it. You can change all kinds of parameters. Wind speed, gusts, wind direction. This gust map doesn't go out that far, only speed. So we'll go back to Sunday. Sunday night, about right here. Landfall sometime Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. Here's your big winds setting up. This is your official NHC forecast. But you know, the winds, 20, 30, I don't know. It won't be, we'll have sustained winds, 15, 20-ish in the panhandle. Gusts 30, 40. Nothing too scary. Afternoon thunderstorms, you get more than that, right? Boats and tows, I like that. Blobs and squalls. Exactly, Michael. Totally agree with you on that. I think that the pressures are lower right now than some of the model data. So, I'm not a big thing about it. I mean, like I said, a minimal hurricane versus a strong tropical storm is going to produce the same amount of damage. So, I guess the outside remote possibility of more Category 2 would be outside chance, just because if it maintains mid 90s as it comes off the Yucatan, then of course. I mean, as a matter of fact, let me show you some of the latest I'm kind of the only one that's been mentioned the H word. I hope it doesn't end up dying, then I'll be labeled a hypist. But hey, whatever. Got to go with your gut. Let me go back to here. Let's go. Can I zoom in? I see the thing. Hold on a minute. Let me get click. All right. So let's see. Where was I going? Right here. Let me go to the Gulf. So all right. So here are your 6Z, your latest ensemble map from the Euro. And let me copy it, and we can zoom in on it. Thought I could. Paste. There we go. All right. So here's your latest thinking from the Euro. Okay, this is your range of possibilities. So for the most part, as far as like a Category 2 hurricane, let's say, there's 974, 77, 78, 88, 85. There's more support for a middle of the road hurricane than there is anything higher. So if we were to see 50s and 60s, on some of the extreme outliers, then you'd say that chance. But, other than a minimal of the road Category 1, I just don't see enough support to even put that out there. But, 970, 983, 989, 986, 983, 989, 985, so if you're interested in that. But again, here's the latest 6Z path. You can see where it's honing in on, basically Louisiana. Some of the extreme outliers are going a little bit more to the east on other models, but then we're getting that turn. So again, I mean, if you had to make bets, middle Louisiana, with the big stuff, unfortunately, going to the east. So, anyway. So there you go. Cat 3 Max, Whitney. Yeah, that would be a little extreme. I don't know. Another cool thing here, too, by the way. Hey, Casper, good morning, buddy. Hope your site's getting some action. Nah, Kenneth, I don't see enough support for that. I think this track north is golden, 100%. My only room for question at this point is how how it stays organized here the next 24 hours, because all that's going to do is change the forecast from high-end tropical storm to a hurricane. Timing is very, very consistent right now. We're talking Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. Impacts begin late Saturday night. We know there's going to be a lot of tropical juice coming into Florida ahead of this thing that's getting blown up right now. You can see it on infrared. All this stuff is coming into Florida now. This is basically being pushed by this high pressure. So we got two-stage impacts here for Florida today, tomorrow, and Friday. Some with this, and then this will start coming up Saturday. But we know the track is pretty confident. We know the strength range is pretty consistent. We know a lot. The only thing we don't know is it was only supposed to be 45 miles an hour, and it's 60, 65 now. So it did get stronger. It did drop down to 993 pressure, which is pretty healthy. And that's kind of what we've been saying, man. It's been the year of surprised intensity in the Gulf with our blobs and squalls. All right, here's the map I wanted to show you. This one. This is a cool one. I like this one. This is on the Tropic. It's a Wisconsin education website. But this site, you can do a lot. So there's infrared. We got shortwave infrared. We have the actual. Look at that one. That's cool. The old school. We have water vapor. This is a good one because this one would actually show the high pushing her down. But what I like about this one is it shows you sea surface temperatures. So remember that one graphic that I showed you, the worst case scenario, we could support a 3. That's because the waters are definitely getting a little cooler. So it is warm water here. That's good news, right? Your water temps are definitely favorable in the short term. On approach, they start to weaken a little bit. So that's good. We could possibly see peak intensity maybe, but the NHC's got it 60 then 65, so it'll still support a hurricane. I just like this site because we saw this with Florence a couple years ago. We were tracking it, and like this is the heat potential map, and it was right on cue as Florence started reaching these hotter pockets of water. It went from a 3 to a 4. So, but the water's pretty neutral right here in the Gulf. But this is a cool site because you can play with upper level winds. You can click shear, and you can see the shear right now pretty strong over it. You know, there's your high pressure over to the west. But you can do convergence, you can do divergence, you can do vorticity, you can do, look at this, you can drive, look at that. You just click them all. There you go, look at that. Make that a mural. As I just got a text. What's this text about? Not sure who that is. I get weird stuff all the time. All right, so what's going on? Anything else? What do you got, Michelle? Hey, Michelle, loop eddy. Yep, we got warm loop eddies. So yeah, I'm not gonna hype it any more than whatever. So it's just expect the unexpected sometimes. You know, I think the NHC is always conservative, and I still think we'll see a little more strengthening. But what do I know? All right. Hey, Eugene. It's going to rain, Sheila. Yep, going to rain. At least the space launch got off, right? Hallelujah. Good news, right? All right, I'm going to try to read what you guys are saying now. We'll ramble on for a little while longer. And let's see if I can get a good sight here. What can we click on? It would be kind of neat. So the hurricane hunters are going home. Supposed to come back later. There's our center. Shown very well now, just overland. And you can see how the winds with the earth, the heating and dry land, just the phenomenon, it always helps spin Bay of Campeche storms up. And it's shallow right here. You can see that. See, we're not seeing a lot of disruption across the Yucatan. Now down here, with the high mountains of Hispaniola and DR and all of our mountainous terrain, this is always a hurricane killer. Because here's the lower level winds. Look at that. They're coming along Puerto Rico, and then they hit the mountains, and guess what? No winds. Bam! They go around. And they always talk about eastern Cuba is higher than western Cuba. And eastern Cuba does not always kill hurricanes, and that's because of the lower elevation mountains. So here's Jamaica. Jamaica's obviously got higher mountains, and you can see the winds stop. So this is a live wind map showing you the wind gets diverted around the mountains on the upper levels. Well, this is lower, upper meaning like not ground level, like kite level, like Benjamin Franklin level. And my comment stops. Let me try to redo it. What's up, mountains? Yeah, Whitney, what's up, man? Kimmy, yep. It made landfall. Jeff, that's $1 million question. This thing has definitely, because you have the most weakest steering currents possible, it's impossible to predict what it's going to do. It's just hovering around land. Again, I've always heard, stronger systems defy odds sometimes on weather models and weather thinking. Well, this is already down to 993. Stronger. It might just start naturally pulling north on its own because it's not a weak tropical storm anymore. It's got a low level circulation, so it might just hover right around here. Might just hover around. So we got to watch it, But the path is certain. That's a good thing. Timing is certain. So feel pretty confident. Been talking about this one since May 20th. Can you believe it? We were talking about this May 20th. Navy model, Danielle. Let's do the Navy model. Do the hokey pokey. So we got the Navy model here. We got a lot of places. We'll look here. The Navy model is a big, wide, just like the CMC and CMC and GFS. And we're working on a shirt. Remember, we're gonna have CAG. We're gonna have GFS. We're gonna have Euro. We're gonna have UK. We're gonna have MJO. We're gonna have all these weather things that only we understand. Hey, David. No, man, David, I wish, buddy, but I'm just afraid that we're going to have a lot of rain in Florida, man. I'm usually an optimist when it comes to that because we have softball. Look at that. So there's the Navy. Look at that. So the Navy model is definitely trending a tick to the east. And 988, borderline hurricane. But that's pretty eastern weighted system there on the Navy. Let's zoom in a little closer. And we can look at some precip. And it's a tighter system. And that would be more Monday morning. So, we talked about that a lot. The longer this thing has out in the Gulf, the more time it would have to get a little stronger. Faster moving system A, going to be more, but all that's kind of out now. But, if that high pressure slows her down, it's going to have that little bit of window as it approaches landfall. And that would just increase rain coverage going into Monday. And maybe a little strengthening, but there's your Euro. Let's look at some hurricane-specific models. The HMON. What does it show? Or HWRF. Here's HWRF. Look at that. I'll tell you, these models totally are terrible. They bounce around. All right, so anyway, 995. Looks like it goes right to Texas, Louisiana, landfall. Let's zoom out. HMON almost the same. This one pulls up 988. So you get the drift. Okay, what else going? Bands better than the Weather Channel. I don't know about that, Stacey. All right, so Telford Holmes made a great point. You know, we need to start talking about squall lines. Obviously, squalls in off the water, always a threat. And some of our higher resolution models are not working yet because we're only 60, 90 days out, or hours. So we can't really see where those potential bands can come in. But we can already know that we're going to see it. And this one goes out. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And it's got lightning in it. This is live. Let's see. Rain and thunder. Here we go. Some better. So here's a euro. I mean, yeah, let's take it for what it's worth. But this is, you know, here's a thunderstorm map. 10 a.m. This Sunday. So even though our center could be, you know, approaching for a Sunday night landfall, here's Sunday 2 a.m. We're already going to be getting thunderstorms rolling in ahead of this thing. This is all based on the euro, of course. But here's Sunday 7 a.m. We could already start to see some pretty big storms and creeping in on Florida. 7 a.m. And this is Sunday 9 p.m. And there's our low and our winds. So Sunday's a day, I'm telling you. Sunday. Here's Sunday 11 a.m. Based on the euro. These are thunderstorms. GFS showing about the same. Look at that. Sunday, a little wider system on the GFS. But look at that. That's pretty good consistency Sunday morning. Sunday morning on the GFS. Sunday morning on the euro. Saturday, let's say Saturday 1 p.m. on the GFS. These are thunderstorms. And Sunday 1 p.m. on the euro. So, you know, or Saturday. So Saturday, GFS, Saturday, euro. So again, Saturday night impacts. Saturday 9 p.m. start to inch in. These are the storms, not the rain. The rains could come ahead of it. These are the thunderstorm chances. So here's Saturday night 9 p.m. Saturday night 9 p.m. on the GFS. So you can see it right there. Saturday night into Sunday. Nothing's changed. What's up, Jim? No chance, Mike. Nope, can't say that. I'm not certain, Stella Jack. I'm just saying very low confidence. It's going to turn hard into Texas. I still think Houston is right on that outside edge of a possibility just because it's right on the border pretty much, you know, in Panama. So, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be, but listen, anybody, honestly, Panama City and Houston are the outliers, let's say. We've seen enough model support to show if this thing's a little bit faster before that turn, there's a chance we could have a landfall in Panama. But, you know, it's honing in, and it makes sense. The NHC cone is perfect. All the models are perfect. You know, all the models that we see are zoning in on Louisiana. You know, and you just, so this, you know, makes sense. All right, so what's cooking out? Outer Banks, I don't see anything coming Outer Banks. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry, I don't think a shift east at this point. We might see minor little bumps and jumps. But at this point in the game, you know, it's sitting stationary right now. So there's good confidence once this thing starts to pull northward, it's just going to go north. Here's a good resolution on tropical tidbits too. So you can see the ball of convection right here. It's looking pretty healthy. That's where center is. We'll see what it does. Bob, at this point, I really don't see a shift west. The only thing that we have confidence of is the high pressure is coming over top. It's going to slow it down a tick, and that's when we're going to see that last minute shift to the northwest possible. That could happen right before landfall. So it could appear that it's coming toward Panama, but we might see that shift at the last second. Then it would turn into Louisiana. So that would be a later in the weekend setup like Sunday because the high will be there. The only really chance I see this thing coming more into the Panhandle as a direct hit would be this thing pulls out quicker than expected, more of a Saturday night, early Sunday landfall. So the slower this thing takes to lift out, chances for a eastern type landfall are slim, and more of a chance for directly north to a little bit of a turn toward Louisiana. And that's why I keep saying Houston, you just gotta keep your eye open. So anyway, hey, we got names for Louis' baby brother. Yep, we got a big fight in our house on what we're gonna name Louis' brother. We're meteor sociologists. I even put that on my thing. I put on there. I thought I put on there that I was. No, I didn't. I joked about it last year. I put social mediaologist. Storm surge, yes. High tide is the 5th. So we're going to have to watch for, or high tide is the 5th. There's a high tide every day. Hey, Casper, yep, you're correct. That is true. It is going to start getting sucked northward. Full moon, a strawberry moon, is expected on Friday. And I love Google. I just typed moon and it still came up. So here's full strawberry moon on Friday. Live science. Let's see what this says. There it is. We're going to have a strawberry moon on Friday. Oh, I hate these things. I'll continue with ad blocker. I have an ad blocker. Now they all pop up and say, turn your ad blocker off. So anyway, full moon. We got tide charts. That did it again. Oh my God, I hate these pop-ups. I'm so glad my site doesn't have pop-ups. I got the ads, I got the Google ads. I've always had them. Nobody's complained about them. But they don't pop up and make you click and close and give us your email and we'll send you updates. All right. So the tide charts again. I have a great surge map that is kind of getting updated right now. It's not. It definitely gets updated the farther into the system we go. So I'll make a big deal to link this. But we will see this map beginning to get updated more and more. As we get closer to the system. And you can click points. You just click, different points where the surge estimates are. Here's Morgan City. So it gives you a range, Here's June 5th, June 6th, 6 foot above norm. So, pretty, areas that are prone to flood, you know who you are. But this map will be great because it'll takes into account tides and current NHC track. And there's a current NHC track right now. So currently, the National Hurricane Center is expecting landfall. Let's take a look right here. Of course, it'll change a little bit. But that's been the general thinking, and that's why that map showed Morgan City. Obviously the east side of the spinach, the most surge. Slight shifts, obviously, will take that out and move it more into New Orleans area. So, anyway, what else is cooking? Thank you, April. Hey, Stephanie, Linda. Yep, talking other stuff. Yep. Heidi, vacations. Well, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to have a vacation in tropical storm. You get a squall line, and you get sunshine. You get a squall line. Hey, Ryan Anderson, I do, buddy. I do remember that. It was on live stream. Remember that back in the day? Dennis did it. Now Dennis is doing good. He's got his DPL, he calls it. Dennis Phillips Live. Jasmine, I'm still predicting about a 980-ish minimal hurricane. Surgeage, Hey, thanks, Eddie Cole, man. We've been around. Where you been all these years? Joey, I would assume they would evacuate the oil rigs. Whitney's snacky snacks sound good. Next week, what we got? Good. See what you guys are saying. I'm looking at my phone, by the way. See, this is what I see. I only see like 3 or 4 comments at a time. So when I don't see something, it goes bye bye. So hey, Don, you guys make it great. I learn from you, right? I read comments. Oh yeah, man. So common sense. We're just watching it. I've learned it's top. Hey, Jonathan English, help me. The topography. Is that how you say it? I did get a degree from USF, so I'm not dumb. I just act dumb. Maybe I am dumb. So the land down here isn't that high. So I don't know if we're going to see a lot of disruption of the center. Joey, don't really have a next spot to watch yet that I could be confident enough. That's one thing I do. I don't. Over the years I used to post every model run and stuff, but I really wait and start talking about things that I believe in, because I don't. If you start failing all the time, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what the heck, So I feel confident when I start talking about something. I have confidence that we could see it. And right now I don't see anything yet that is high confidence to start talking about. Taylor, yes. You know where you go, Taylor? Our friend Casper and Kay's site. So, Mike's weather page. I have a link here. Right below my IR. See Atlantic, Gulf, tropical maps. Right here, International Meteorology Database. And if you click that, you go to Atlantic. And then you click that, you go to Mexico. Where is Mexico? I screwed up again. Central America. Duh. So you got to click on Central America, then click Mexico. And then you get the Mexico Agency here for weather. And then you can go to radar. I don't know Spanish very well, but I figured it out. Radar, RADARES. I was brilliant because that told me that was radar. And then we click on the radar here. Close to Yucatan, and we can see it now. So it's going to load, and there's the current look, and you can see banding. Look at that, there it is. So there's live radar. The compliments of Casper and Kay. So Michael, really, the only question is pressure. Lower pressures mean higher winds. This is it was 993. I think if it stays below 1,000 millibars when it comes off the coast, then we definitely have a chance for 980s as it preaches the coast. So, Category 2 still seems real out there as a reach. The only way I could see it reaching Category 2 status is if this thing never loses much, hangs around 995, 990, as it exits, and it has a little more time over water. So, the outside chance is definitely there for Cat 2 on approach, because it is going to slow a little bit. It's not going to slow a lot. High pressure to the north is definitely going to slow it down a little bit. You can see that on the models as we. I wish the Euro 3 hour would go a little longer, but it's not. So it's going to slow down a little bit. That'll give a little window, but the water's a little cooler, and there is expected to be shear. So there will be a little offsetting variables to slow down, rapid intensification. So that's good news. Here's the general mean of all the ensembles, 987. So this is good. This is 6Z. This kind of gives you a thinking again. So here is this is a good map right here. This just came out. I haven't even looked at it yet. So this is a 6Z Euro, and it's showing it emerging right on the coast of Yucatan Friday, 997, and it hasn't started to. This is the combination of all the ensembles. So it kind of blends them all together on average. So the average ensembles 994, and it shows that northward turn right here. This is Sunday morning. Then we start to see that effects of the high pressure, and it's slowed down a little bit. Monday morning now. So the latest Euro has it slowing down a little bit. See that turn? That's why I'm telling the folks in Houston not to stop watching, because that seems something we've been talking about, is that high pressure is going to slow it down on approach just a little bit, not for a flooding event, but just enough to let it develop a tick more and do that turn. And 987 could be hurricanes. Anyway, cool beans. All right, so holy cow, been an hour and a half. I do not think you're out of the woods, Amber. Definitely Eastern Texas, Houston. I keep thinking, Houston eastward. Still pay attention. I don't see models yet really honing in on you guys. Oh, there's a fly. It hit me. Sorry. Did you see it attack me? But again, Houston's, if I had to hunch, you're going to be so close to it and probably get very little at all. Lingering rains maybe. But again, it just seems like to me everything keeps honing into middle Louisiana. I didn't get it. I just saw it fly by. UK has it going into the mouth of the Mississippi. Houston, we have a problem. That would be a Luke Combs quote. I might, Cindy. What day is today? Yeah, I went a little earlier last night. Hey, Casper, yeah, I'll do it here in a second. I'm going to have to sign off, man. Holy cow, I lost track of time. Arc alert for Tampa. Ryan, that's very iffy. All right, here's the deal. Rains for Tampa Bay and Florida for sure the next 3 days. What happens Saturday is if this thing does turn into be a little bit more stronger, as the Euro is kind of predicting, it could pull these rain bands away from the state, leaving a little more drier conditions for the peninsula. So there's an outside chance, I'd say 35%, that Saturday, Sunday could be drier than what's being predicted right now. And that would be based on a little stronger storm being pulled in, more classic spinach. So I would not cancel weekend plans on the Florida Peninsula, Gainesville South yet. Panhandle, yes. But Saturday it might be iffy here if it's a stronger system. So not sold yet 100% on a weekend washout in Florida. I hope that's just not my optimism talking, but definitely Thursday and Friday and some today. We're going to see rains today already developing out there. And just looking at the precipitable water map, definitely a lot of juice in the atmosphere, and you can see it here. This is the amount of moisture coming, and anything red is a lot of moisture. That's Thursday. This is Friday, and here's Saturday. So, just a lot of moisture. So I don't know. There's Sunday. So just a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So yeah, if you have an arc, I would definitely keep your arc fueled up and ready to go. Hurricane Center has a call with me. I hope not. I didn't answer. Hey, what's up, Marlene? Destin, Nikki, oh my goodness. Well, it's going to rain. Next week, see, Poppy, I don't, again, we're back to normal weather patterns. Jet streams to our north, see that? So, as far as storms go, after this one, things are just kind of normal. All right, well, let's go. Storm surge, storm surge on Lake Pontchartrain. It's going to be iffy, depending on landfall. According to the latest Euro, it might be just enough to your west that you guys won't get the big stuff. But Definitely be on alert. All right. So anyway, how you acting enough? Rain bands in Tallahassee, yes. Windy, you will for sure. Sunday. Pensacola this weekend. Saturday morning won't be too bad. Things start going downhill Saturday night. But you know they're going to be. It's going to be squally. It's not going to be a. It's not going to be an onslaught. Sunday could be, but you know Saturday might be decent enough that you get enough sunshine in between these things. There you go, Casper. Yep, we got hurricane hunters. I think they're going back out at 3 o'clock. Flood advisories for east coast of Palm Beach. Yeah, you guys are getting hit right now, big time. Look at that. That's live. Coming up the coast, we got flood watches up, flood warnings up. Melbourne, look at that. Flood watches up. As the rains come up already early in the morning. Look at that. East Coast juice. Hey, Brooke. No, I haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it. There's one long range in the 300 hours, but that's just too far to worry about. We're going to see spin up storms all season long, past 10 days. You know, you go 10 days out, you just don't see any lowering the pressures enough. I usually look at all three. I mean, it's simple science, but you know, you look at all of them, but you just don't see, you know, middle June, I just don't see anything yet. So nothing yet to really get too worried about or excited about. So we'll have a little break. We always get a little break after the start of the season, it seems like. We always get a break June and July, and then things really get going. All right. Coming back. I'll be here tomorrow. Thank you, Wendy. Shawnee, thanks. Live report. Elaine, I don't know. Later today. Later tonight. I might change my graphic to 8 p.m. Because last year, my tradition was to do a live report at 9:19, then I would go get some food. Well, my local Applebee's here in Oldsmar has not even opened up yet. And our local Chili's now is closed at 10 instead of 11. So if I did a live at 9:19, I can't get dinner. So I might change my graphic to say 8 p.m. during storms. Or 8:18. Nah, we'll do 8 p.m. We'll keep 9:19 as a tradition, and everything else will be. Thank you, Casper, for keeping the chat going. Yeah, we have a supporter group. Thank you, Sheila Ross. You know, Facebook's a great thing. They let you tip your server $5 a month, and there's a few little perks. You know, I post in there a couple times a day. I try to. Sometimes some funny stuff, but you know, if you like talking weather and you like expanding, oh, we have member reported content. I rarely go in here. It's kind of your own private little chat room. I don't go in here, but so we have a private little chat room for supporters. It's small, obviously, but everybody becomes friends. I'm nearing 900,000 followers on Facebook, so sometimes you get some negative posts. Sometimes it's hard to see everything. So at least the member chat room is fun, I guess. Cool. All right. So here we go. All right, we'll put this live. I'll do a replay at noon. Everybody seems to like that. That way you can still chat while you watch. I'm not in them, so if anybody's in there yelling for me at noon, I'm not in there at noon. So somebody's like, Mike, he's an asshole. He doesn't listen to us. All right, so here we go. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Probably tonight for sure. Yeah, we'll do one tonight, 8 o'clock. I'm going to change my graphic to 8 o'clock. So there we go. All right, have a good day. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for tuning in, and keep abreast of the situation. And we're going to have fun with that one with Dolly when Dolly comes. We'll be talking about Dolly's blobs. Dolly's naked. So, see y'all. Bye-bye. Cheers.